This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Eloise Phillips, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Wednesday, May 27th. Nvidia's CEO calls Taiwan epicenter of AI and urges stable power as investment surges. The Digital Ministry finds security risks in 4 popular Chinese apps. And Forum in Taipei. Czech ex-minister warns small nations must resist great power deals. But first, today's top story. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said on Wednesday at the planned T17 and T18 sites in Beitou-Shilin Technology Park that Taiwan has become a key hub for artificial intelligence and will remain central to global technology and electronics manufacturing, while stressing the need for stable energy supplies. Speaking at an employee event on Wednesday to mark the launch of its Constellation project in Taipei, Huang said Taiwan's ecosystem, from chip manufacturing and advanced packaging to system assembly, is rapidly expanding. Taipei's planned headquarters, expected to accommodate 4,000 employees, could begin construction by the end of 2026 and be completed in 2030. Huang said Nvidia's annual spending in Taiwan has surged from about $10 billion to $15 billion 5 years ago to between $100 billion and $150 billion today, adding that, quote, Nvidia alone has brought tremendous momentum to Taiwan's supply chain ecosystem, end quote. Citing Taiwan's comprehensive supply chain, he stated,
Taiwan is the epicenter of the AI revolution. This is where the chips come, packaging comes. This is where the systems are made. This is where AI supercomputers were created. The number of partners we work with here in Taiwan, incredible. You could just see from their stock price. They're doing so well, they're so happy. I have not met one CEO who's not happy.
Huang added that AI development depends heavily on energy, and Taiwan will need a sufficient and stable supply of power to sustain future growth. Taiwan's Digital Ministry has urged the public not to use 4 Chinese-made mobile apps, including Bilibili and iQIYI, after security testing found potential risks.
Taiwan's Digital Ministry has said that security testing found potential risks in 4 Chinese-made mobile apps: AMAP, Bilibili, iQIYI, and Bimore. The ministry urged the public not to install or use the apps, which it described as high risk. Cybersecurity Administration Director Li Yuwei announced the findings at a news conference in Taipei on Wednesday, May 27th. Li said all 4 apps transmitted data to servers in China, where Chinese law can require companies to provide user data to national security and intelligence agencies. We remind the public to avoid downloading and using high-risk apps as much as possible to protect their property and privacy, Li said. According to the ministry's findings, AMAP requested access to sensitive permissions unrelated to its core functions, including transmitting data while closed and reading users' contacts. The app's collection of location and personal data could expose users' movements, home and work locations, and daily routines. Meanwhile, Bilibili, iQIYI, and Bimore also requested sensitive permissions unrelated to their main functions, including access to users' storage space. All 4 apps requested user permissions to access audio and video on Android devices, the tests found. The ministry emphasized that government agencies are already barred under Taiwan's Cybersecurity Management Act from downloading, installing, or using Chinese-made apps on official equipment. This is James Thompson with Radio Taiwan International, reporting in Taipei.
The Forum for Democratic Cooperation held its opening public session in Taipei on Wednesday, bringing together officials and experts to address shifting global alliances in the wake of the renewed US-China engagement. The event was organised by the Czech Republic's Forum 2000 Foundation and Taiwan's Foreign Ministry. Former Czech Foreign Minister Tomáš Petříček said on the sidelines of the forum that the recent Trump-Xi summit confirmed a strategic worldview in which major powers believe they can reshape the world through bilateral deals. Quote, "This creates a world where great powers can make deals over the heads of smaller nations," end quote, Petrychuk said. Quote, but this is unacceptable for small countries because we all have an equal say in what kind of world we want to live in, end quote. Petrychuk warned that while small countries must acknowledge the reality of great power competition, yielding to it would threaten democratic cooperation and risk reviving outdated, quote, spheres of influence, end quote, thinking. He also cautioned that Washington's strategic pivot from Europe towards Asia signals a changing alliance landscape that should serve as a warning to all partners. He urged democratic allies to take on greater economic and security responsibilities and explore new frameworks for cooperation. He said, perhaps minilateralism is an option for us. For Europe, the most immediate threat is Russia, but from a long-term global perspective, China is indeed a major risk, and we must face that reality. Taiwanese Booker Prize winner hopes her novel can reach Chinese readers.
Taiwanese author Yang Shuangzi and translator Lin King have won the International Booker Prize with Taiwan Travelogue, marking the first time a work of Taiwanese literature and the first novel translated from Mandarin Chinese has received the prestigious international award. Set in Taiwan under Japanese rule during the 1930s, the historical novel follows fictional Japanese writer Aoyama Chizuko as she travels across Taiwan with her Taiwanese interpreter Wang Chizuru. Through rail journeys and food experiences, the story explores themes of friendship, identity, and cultural exchange. While rooted in history, Yang says its examination of power imbalance and cultural erasure remains relevant to Taiwan today. Since its publication in Mandarin in 2020, Taiwan Travelogue has received widespread acclaim in Taiwan but has not been released in China. Yang says she hopes the book can eventually reach Chinese readers and create opportunities for dialogue. She says she wants more people in China to better understand the future Taiwanese people hope for, one that may differ from what many imagine. Yang also said she hopes the novel can become an example within the Chinese-speaking world, demonstrating what can be achieved in a free and democratic society. Translator Lin King said, bringing Taiwanese literature to global audiences has long been an uphill battle, making the award especially meaningful. News of the win drew limited attention on Chinese social media. A Chinese bookseller familiar with Taiwanese literature said themes involving Taiwan consciousness would likely make publication in mainland China difficult. Joey Chow for RTI News.
A proposed referendum to introduce caning as a criminal penalty could be held alongside year-end elections, though the measure remains under development, the Central Election Commission, or CEC, chairperson Michael Yeo said Wednesday. KMT legislator Hung Mong-kai and 52 other lawmakers have proposed the caning referendum, seeking to add caning to the list of special criminal punishment for offences including sexual assault, child abuse, large-scale fraud and aggravated compound fraud. Speaking before a legislative committee session, Yeo said the proposal is still in formation and that the CEC will monitor its progress. When asked whether it could be tied to the local elections, he responded,
Since it's still in the process of forming, we don't know what the final outcome will be, but we will pay close attention.
He reiterated that for referendum proposals passed by the legislature, the CEC will handle them according to the law, maintaining that, quote, approval is the principle, rejection is the exception, end quote. Lawmakers also raised concerns about costs and legal risks. Yeo noted that a single referendum costs 1 billion new Taiwanese dollars, approximately 32 million US dollars, and said that any potential harm resulting from caning would need to be considered. He added that the CEC will remain neutral until the proposal's legislative outcome is clear. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Eloise Phillips. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.
RTI News, programs, pictures, and more. Online at rti.org.tw/en. Check it out.